Miles Beckler here. In this video, we will look at how to use the Facebook Audience Insight tool so you can steal your competitors' customers. Now, this has been one of the biggest advancements in my kind of marketing repertoire, this tool. It's a free tool. It's offered to you by Facebook. It's inside of their ads platform. And in just a minute, we're going to actually get into the tool and we're going to play around with it so you can see exactly how to use it. Now, at this point, you should know what your niche is. You should know who your target market is, and you should know who the big players are in your niche. If you don't have that kind of information, we'll go into it in just minor detail, but below in the description, I'll link you to my videos that will help you do your niche research and that helps you learn how to do your customer avatar research. So really what we're doing with this video is how to use the Facebook Audience Insight tool to build out the interests that you're going to put inside of your Facebook pay-per-click campaign. So you got to have your research done up to where you're ready to run your campaign. You got to have your funnel up and built. If you don't have your funnel going, go back to my path. I got every funnel you could possibly want to build. I show you exactly how to set them up in my other videos. So with that said, let's get me out of the way and let's jump into this tool here. So we start at Facebook, obviously. I click on the ads manager and it's going to load. And up here we go to the little three lines, click on it, all tools. And, kind of jumping around there, all tools. And it goes right here under plan. We use the audience insights. I run this in Chrome. It seems to run best in the Chrome browser. Now, if you want to look at kind of like your mailing list, if you've got 10,000 people on your mailing list, you would use this one. If you want to look at people who are connected to your fan page, if you have like 10, 20, 50, 100,000 people on your fan page, you use this one. But since we're doing research, we want to use the top one. Now, if you know a lot about your audience, you can play with these filters, but I recommend we only toggle one section to get started right now, and that section is this interests area. So let's say, hypothetically, I've got a personal development brand, I've got a free plus shipping book offer that I've created, and on the back end of that, I sell coaching and high-ticket seminars and other items as upsells. So my funnel's built, I know my audience, I know they're personal development geeks. Who do personal development geeks love? Tony Robbins, right? So let's jump right in and let's add Tony Robbins here to the Audience Insights tool. And it automatically populates this kind of main window with the 2 to 2.5 million monthly active people on Facebook who like Tony Robbins. This is great. Now, just with what we've done here, this says that I could go into the Facebook ads platform, I could create a campaign, and at the ad set level, I can add Tony Robbins as an interest, and without tweaking anything else, I would have an audience of 2 to 2.5 million people to market to who I know like personal development. So that's the power of this tool. Excuse me. But not every single niche has someone as prominent as Tony Robbins, and we need to do a little more digging. I also recommend adding, what I usually do is I've got my trusty kind of legal pad here and my Sharpie pen, and I literally go through this tool. I'll show you in a second how I do it at full speed, and I write down all of the insights that come up and that actually show up. Now you'll notice sometimes you'll type in people who you think should show. You're like, hey, they got a fan page or they're a really successful author, but Facebook just won't register them here. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. Facebook does what it wants. Just move on. What we're looking for are the ones who do register here. Now, if you have someone in your kind of world who's as big as Tony Robbins, you can get some really cool demographic information. So about 71% of the people who like Tony Robbins are women, and it looks like the age range is kind of major based in this 25 to 44, although the 45 to 54 is also significant. The gray box is the average of all of Facebook. The blue box is the average of this audience segment we have tied in. So you can see at the age of 55, he does not even compare to the normal amount of Facebook users. So in your ad targeting, you can definitely focus your target towards this younger demographic, but we don't need to do that yet. What we can also do is click on this page likes, and here's where you get a lot of really interesting kind of content. So what this is showing us is what other fan pages, people who like Tony Robbins, this audience, what they also like. So what we want to do is we want to take these and cross-reference them over here. And also, if you don't know who these are, do research, right? Like Mind Valley Academy, they sell personal development courses. It makes perfect sense that they show up. So what I can do is I can add Mind Valley. Oh, that's all one word. So you can see right here, not only is Mind Valley Academy here, but Mind Valley as an educational program shows up as well. So I'm adding that, and you notice everything changes. My number on the audience actually changed, right? So I got another 500,000 to 1 million additional users from adding that interest. And you'll even see on the demographics, these demographics have changed. Now it's 5% on the older demographic. And what I can do is I can actually toggle these off by clicking remove. And now I'm only looking at the Mind Valley Academy segment, which is 450,000 to 500,000 monthly active users. And I can see the age range of their users starting to skew a little bit older, which is interesting. Generally, the older demographics have a little bit more spending money in their pockets than the millennials and the Gen Xers. But we can go over to page likes, and you can now see what the page likes are for people who only like Mind Valley Academy. Now, I don't like to build gigantic audiences, right? I like this few 100,000 mark, from 50,000 to about 500,000. We get really good data, so I try not to build it up to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 million, because it's going to skew the data, because some people just like Tony Robbins because he's a name, or they want to show on their page that they like Tony Robbins. But most people who know of and like Mind Valley, they're pretty far down this kind of personal development realm. So what I'm going to keep doing here, oh, and one other thing, I'm sorry, real quick, if nothing shows up on page likes, if you just get like question marks or it's just like a little icon, that means your audience size is not large enough. So you need to keep adding people, and you need to build the audience up. Like I said, generally, I think it's around 30,000. Most of these categories or these other pages will show up. Definitely when you get to the 50, 100,000 mark, you'll get some really good data here. So we have a see all button here, and this pulls out more for us here. And then below, we've got this kind of affinity score, and we sort by affinity on this one. And the affinity means what's the likelihood of these people to like these other kind of programs or these other pages. Bert Goldman, if you don't know who he is, he's a personal development guy. He's in his 80s. He's been creating books and courses for a very long time, and he is one of Mind Valley's teachers, right? So what happens is we're seeing from this first one we added ourselves, who are the next most likely pages for them to like. So what I do is I write these down. So I go Mind Valley, Bert Goldman, Chakra Dance. I write them all down, and then one at a time I cross-reference them. So let's try Bert Goldman here. And that worked. So I pull off the Mind Valley, and I can see, so about 45 to 50,000 people like Bert Goldman, and these are the other pages that they like when they like Bert Goldman. So this is great. Neil Donald Walsh, he wrote Conversations with God. You might be getting out of your area, right? It depends on how spiritual your personal development is. Now I'm going deep in this kind of example of personal development. I just know the niche. I don't have any products in the niche really, kind of maybe overlapping in some way, but it's not like my main niche. It's just something I'm knowledgeable enough about to kind of wrap with you and show you this tool. So how long do I do this for, right? I'm shooting to have 30 different interests written down on my little notepad that I have next to me. And I want each one of these to register individually. Now I'll note, if I have some that are as big as Tony Robbins, I will enter them when I create my ads. I will sometimes split test the Tony Robbins audience of 2.5 million with a bunch of these smaller audiences that grow to the same size. And I'll show you how to do that in a future video when we've got, when we're actually building out our ad campaign. But I'm just saying to keep it in mind for right now. But again, the goal is to get a list of about 30 different items, and we really want things that are specific. Like right here, meditation, that's just too broad, right? I don't want, if I'm in personal development, like, okay, my people might be interested in meditation. I get that. It's a tool that I teach and technique that I teach, but it's just too broad. For anybody who likes meditation, they might not be into personal development. So you really want to make sure it's very, very focused on your kind of, like I said, your competition is really what you're looking for. So that's what we do. We keep typing in different combinations of these. Let's go back to Tony Robbins. Because he's such a big author, he's going to have a lot going on here. So the Napoleon Hill Foundation, this brings up the idea of Napoleon Hill, which brings up the idea of Think and Grow Rich. And that's what you're trying to do here, is you're trying to let this be an idea generator for you. And so I put Think and Grow Rich in. You can see 700 to 800,000. And notice how small this goes, right? For some reason, people who like Think and Grow Rich, they really kind of only like these things. Gary Vaynerchuk seems to pop up pretty high. And is he personal development? Is he a business guy? I don't think he's that personal development focused, so I would not put him on the list. The goal is not to go through this quickly and just grab 30 things to go plug into your ad set. The goal is to go through this very, very deeply and make sure that every single person you're getting out of this and every single interest that you're getting out of this is indeed one of your competitors, right? So let's go back to the Tony Robbins one here. I'm going to see if I can find, that turned up Tony Award, excuse me. Tony Robbins author. So I'm going to keep looking through these. And what you would do if you don't know what these are or who any of these people are, so down here in the author is a really good area. So Tim Ferriss teaches kind of internet business stuff. I don't know if he's on personal development. Deepak Chopra, definitely personal development. If you don't know them, I'm going to hold Control on my keypad and click. And what it does is it opens in a new tab this fan page of the person. So I literally kind of just Control clicked on Deepak Chopra. It pulls up Deepak Chopra's page. And now I can scroll around and be like, all right, what's this guy about? So radical beauty, interesting, strength and beauty go hand in hand. I don't know if that is exactly up my alley. Creativity. And I'm just browsing, and I would watch some of these videos and just think, like, so is this guy on my level? Are my customers, are my best potential customers, or my customer avatars, do they like this guy? Are they interested in this guy? If not, he doesn't make it on the list. If so, he makes it on the list. And I keep going until I get 30. So that's the basics of how to use it. I like to keep the age and the gender wide open at first. I let my data on my ads that are successful, I let that focus me on the age range. I try not to focus on the demographics I get here. And also feel free to look around at the other information if you haven't. You should already know this about your customer avatar, but what's their family situation like? You can learn about their household, their purchasing patterns, etc., whether they're homeowners, how many people are in their house, what their spending methods are. But really, at this point, this is the biggest tool that I kind of stick with. One more, I want to go back to Mind Valley. So Mind Valley is one of those kind of what I would consider a honeypot. And the reason I consider it a honeypot is because Mind Valley sells products. And if you're in the personal development space and you didn't know about Mind Valley, or you knew of them but you didn't know their courses, this is where you're really able to go deeper. Because like I said, in this affinity, it already shows us when we sort by affinity, Bert Goldman. I don't know what the secret mirror is. So again, I Control click, it opens it in another tab, and I can go look, what is this secret mirror thing, right? Is this a course? Is this a product? Are these people interested in what I have to offer? If so, they make it on the list. Now, real quick, I know we're at 13 minutes. I promise we'll be getting through this. I'll wrap this up here fully in the next couple of minutes. But I want to show you, let's say you don't have a Tony Robbins, and let's say you haven't done enough research yet, and you don't know exactly who to start running this tool with. So what we do is we go to Google, and I go type in Amazon Kindle bestsellers. So I want the Amazon Kindle bestseller page, which comes up on a Google search. You can tell it was already clicked because I go here all the time. This is one of my main market research tools. On the left here, we click Kindle eBooks. And now I've got my main categories, right? So what I want to do is So let's say I've gone through everything through Tony Robbins. I've only got 12 new cool things on my list, and I want to get to 30 because that's my benchmark. So I'm going to go down here to self-help, because I know that's where Tony Robbins lives and that's where my people are. And I'm essentially thinking, okay, if I wrote a book, or which I, in my experiment here, or my hypothetical, I do have a book. So what category is my book in? Personal transformation, let's say. Now I want to keep going with these categories and subcategories until I'm at the bottom subcategory, which I am here. And now I've got the top 20 right here on this page. The top 20, and I can go all the way back to the top 100 books very easily. So what I'm going to do now is I want to take these names that I'm seeing, right? Like, again, I should know this, but because I've done my niche research, but if I haven't got enough on my list, I can just take these and I'll go right over to the Audience Insights tool, and I'm going to remove Mind Valley. And what's the first one? It is Raza Imam. That's the author name, so Raza Imam. Oh. So that didn't seem to pull up anything. And I'm going to go to the next one. Let's see, Modern Civility. Let's see if the book title comes up. It doesn't come up. And I'm going to keep going. I'm not necessarily going to keep you on here. Okay, E Squared, good book. That's got to have a fan page. I'm not going to keep you on here long. I'm trying to show you. Okay, let me try the name, Pam Grout. Nope. So I'm trying to show you the work. Like, we have to do work in order to get our campaigns to run right. And the work is not setting up the campaign. The work is researching the audience and coming up with a large list of popular competitors who are already doing good big things in the space, who I can then make sure my ads only show to them. Now, Tony Robbins is this glaring example, and everyone knows who Tony Robbins is. So guess what all of your advertising competitors are doing? They're running their ads to Tony Robbins. So you're going to pay more because there's going to be more competition for Tony Robbins because he's a household name. So in order to get a better click and to get a new segment of an audience that's not seeing any ads like yours from your competitors, you need to do the research. And guess what? It takes time. It's work. It's like, I will go through literally pages upon pages upon pages. So let's look at the power of habit. Let's see if that comes in. Bingo. So now the power of habit shows up. So I click on that and we can see it's only 3,500 to 4,000 monthly active people. Now, I will keep this, right? This works. I don't need to see page likes in order for me to add them to my short list that I'm going to market to. The fact that they're on the bestsellers list of Kindle and they show up here in the additional entries under interests, this means that there's a high likelihood that I could target them when I create my ad. So they go on the list, and then I click X here to clear that out so there's nothing in, and I start over. And Brene Brown, right? I think she might show up. Let me see if I can find a Brene Brown, the author. So now an author shows up. She's got a big audience. I didn't know about her off the top of my head. I would have if I'd done my research, but you can see high women on this. So that's another thing I'm noticing. Even though I'm not in this, it's like, oh, it's a women-based thing. I would consider running a split test in campaigns, one campaign to women, one campaign to men, and see who converts better and see who I get more paid customers, not just leads, and what my kind of average cost per customer is, women versus men. We'll get into that in the future videos when I show you more about actually setting up the campaigns. But right now, you need to get to where you have a notepad list next to you with 30, that's 30 different items and people and author names and platforms and blog names and brand names that are your direct competitors. This is not broad competitors. These are people who are really, really honestly, they're in your niche. They have your customers already, and if only Tony Robbins' people would see my ad, then they'd have a high likelihood of working. Another way to think of it is, as you're looking for these authors and these other whether it's on Amazon or whether it's through the Facebook tool and you're using the page-like suggestions, just when you're looking at them, think, okay, if this person posted a plug for my funnel or for my free giveaway that I'm offering, would their audience be really excited and interested? If your kind of gut reaction and if your thought is yes, if Tony Robbins was on stage and Tony said, go get Miles's free plus shipping book, it's awesome, you would have, I would know that my personal development business would explode. Those are the kinds of people I want on here. If a meditation guru said, go check out this personal development book, their audience would be like, what? But like, it's meditation. I'm here for mindfulness. I'm not here for personal development. That's the disconnect. I don't want them on my list. Now it's half art. It's a little bit of science. There's a lot of trial and error. Personally, before I run a new campaign, I'll spend thousands upon thousands of dollars in a single campaign. I spend hours upon hours in this tool specifically because when I'm spending and investing my money, I want to make sure that it has a really, really high likelihood of generating a return on investment quickly. And again, that doesn't come from any fancy copy. That doesn't come from any tricks in the actual ad itself. It comes from my research, from making sure that my audience is so close and has such a high likelihood of liking what I do that they just see my offer and it's compelling to them. It's something they have to take action on. And when my offer is that compelling to where I've got it in front of the right people, I mean, I do angel meditations and I know that I get the biggest angel lady in the world and I show my ads for her stuff and my wife's stuff to her and boom, surprise, surprise, it works like gangbusters. And then you just keep running new ads and you start to test the ad side of stuff again, which we'll go through in a future video. So I've gone on long enough. We're at just over 21 minutes. Thank you very much for your time. This tool, I can't stress it enough. The reason why this video is so long is because of how much I believe in this tool and how much I know this tool can serve you. So put in the time, put in the effort, learn the tool. If it doesn't show up for you right away, that's because you don't have an active ad account. Go set up your first campaign in Facebook and just turn it on and then turn it off. Once they get your credit card number from you, this tool turns on. So just literally go turn on a fake campaign and turn it right back off to get the access to the tool. If you put in the time, if you do the research, if you do the groundwork and you build a solid foundation, your funnel and your campaigns and your audience will thank you. Everything will have a higher likelihood of working. If you want the newest videos as they're released, as I go deeper into how to build Facebook ads and teach you the other kind of ins and outs of Facebook pay-per-click marketing, go ahead and click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you liked it, and leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's anything I missed or anything else you'd like me to cover. Thank you again for your time. I'm Miles Beckler. Have a great day.